Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Wow, here we are, day 2 of daily devotion. Liam says, hey. Hopefully, we won't be interrupted too much today. I bribed my children with tablet time. So don't judge. Just don't judge me. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. So if you see me looking in 2 different places, that's why I'm looking at 2 different cameras. But how are you guys doing? Pop a comment. Let me know how you're hanging in there. How are things going? Let me know all the things. All right. Are you working? Are you staying home? Are you a healthcare provider? Are you afraid? Let me know. Let me know how you're doing. And I'm sharing this. If you are watching, I would love for you to share this video. Let people know, that there's devotion going on, that there's some encouragement happening on this rainy day. You guys, I'm hearing thunder. I'm looking out my kitchen window. It's pouring down rain. My backyard is just a mud puddle. It's crazy. But hey, we're going to get through this together. We are going to get through this together. So now let's talk a little bit about, and I have my computer. You guys, if y'all saw my setup, I wish I could take a picture, but I'm using all of my devices. I've got my computer, which has my phone and my iPad sitting on it, and that's what I'm recording on. And then I have my husband's computer over here so I can share and look at some things over there. So, but guys, let's talk about seasons. I did a Bible study last year about seasons, and if you're in my Bible study group, it's called Join the Journey. You can go back and watch. It's a whole month worth of Bible studies. You can go back. I will pop the link in the comments so that you guys can join the group if you haven't joined Bible study group. I haven't put a new Bible study in there in a couple of months, but there's a lot of good ones in there, and they're very easy to find. You just click on the units at the top, and it will have all of that there for you. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about seasons. I'm going to read a scripture to you. It's a very familiar scripture. Many of you have heard it. Many of you can probably quote it. It's Ecclesiastes 3:1. It says, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven." And if you continue reading, you'll read that, there's a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant, time to pluck up that which is planted. And it goes through all these things where there's a time to weep, there's a time to laugh, there's a time to be silent, there's a time to speak, right? And I want to talk to you a little bit today, because while I do not think, and I want to be very clear about this, I don't think that God is plaguing the earth right now. I don't think that. And I think it's important that we as Christians don't look at it that way, because our God is a loving God. And I don't think that God uses physical ailments and things like that to punish people, okay? I do, however, think that we live in mortal bodies, and we live in a mortal world, and this world is full of sickness and disease, and we get faced with those things very often. And in this time of disease running rampant in our world, guys, this isn't just the U.S., this is a global crisis that's happening here. In this season that we're in, God can use us during this season that this world has brought us to, right? I don't think that this whole COVID-19 coronavirus outbreak is anyone's fault. And I think it's important that we as Christians try not to place blame. It's very important in this season, and this is what we're going to talk about today, how we as Christians react, how we act during this time in our world and in our nation, okay? We can use this time to show the world what Christianity is really all about. And what is it all about, guys? Christianity is about revealing the heart of God to this world. And what is that heart? It's the heart of a servant. Jesus Christ, when he was on this world, he served the world and the people in it. And it's so, so important that we show that to the world. That's what we are called to do, right? And in times like this, in these difficult circumstances, God can use that to fill and fulfill his divine purpose, right? So will we choose to partner with God during this difficult time? Are we going to choose to bear the fruits of the Spirit, right? Hey, Liam, can you come tell everyone what the fruits of the Spirit are?
Sure.
So,
Don't play again.
my son knows the fruits of the Spirit. I'm going to let him tell you what they are right quick. Okay, Liam, come here. Okay, I'll tell you what, get in the camera so everyone can see. Okay, what's the fruits of the Spirit?
Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such thing there is no law. Galatians 5:22 and 23.
It's perfect. Galatians 5:22 and 23. And I'm going to read it to you. Let me, I did not mark all of my scripture in my Bible. So you guys, if you'll bear with me while I turn to Galatians. Because I'm using all my digital stuff to record right now. Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 and 23. I want to read this to you. A lot of you, again, can quote this. My 5-year-old can quote this. But I want to read it because I don't want to misquote it, okay? But the fruit of the Spirit is love. And this is the King James Version, so it's a little different. He learned the NIV. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. And this is what I want you to hear today, guys. Against such, there is no law. And I don't want to add to the Bible, but I'm here to tell you, against such, there will never be a law. Okay? And it is so important in this time of uncertainty, in this time of not knowing what tomorrow is going to bring, in this time of being banned from leaving homes. You guys, I have a good friend who lives in Italy. She has not been allowed out of her house for the better part of 2-3 weeks. In this time, we who are filled with the Spirit of God, this is when we're going to learn, and the world is going to learn if we let that Spirit work in us. Because if we are letting God's Spirit work in us, then we will bear fruit like love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. And I want you to really reflect on yourself and how you're reacting right now in this crisis that we're in. Are you constantly complaining? Have you been posting on Facebook about all the things that are wrong, about how our government leaders are idiots, about how, you hate being stuck at home, about how you hate homeschooling? And let me just tell you, you guys, I'm not a homeschool mom. But I'm not going to sit on here on Facebook and just complain about it, right? Because that's not good fruit, right? That is not the fruit that I should be bearing if I, in fact, have the Spirit of God living inside of me, right? So will we only help ourselves and not others? And I really want to think about that for a minute, because helping others, there's so many ways that we can help others, even if it's just through prayer. You guys, there are people in this world who are on the front lines of this thing. They're working in the hospitals and the doctor's offices and in our government. Yeah, whether you agree or don't agree with how our government officials are handling this, they are battling this thing in whatever way they can, right? And it's so important that we don't focus only on ourselves, right? Even Jesus, when he was being crucified. He wasn't focused on himself, was he? No. He was focused on the two thieves that were on either side of him. He was focused on the soldiers that were killing him. And what did he say? Father, forgive them. Jesus Christ was not inward focused. He was servant focused. He was outward focused on the people around him. And how we choose to react during this season, let's please remember this is a season. How we choose to react is going to show whether or not we really and truly are children of God, right? So, are we really the Christians that we say we are? Do we really carry the love of Jesus within us? And I'm just putting these questions out there. I'm not trying to say that you're not doing that, because I know that it's a daily struggle. You guys, I have to check myself. Please know. Sometimes I'll type out a post on Facebook and then I'll read it and I'm like, let me just delete that. That's not very Christ-like, okay? You know, we all have moments where we have to check ourselves. We have to let the Spirit of God check us, right? So how do we show the love of Christ? We show it in our actions. We show it in our attitude. We show it in our social posts, all right? It's so important. What kinds of things are you sharing? What kinds of things are you saying on social media? That's important, because guess what? That's all people are seeing right now. They're not seeing you face to face. They're not seeing your facial expressions. They're not seeing your body language. They're seeing the words that you're typing and writing and the posts that you're sharing. So what kinds of things are those, right? So let's look at an example of someone who was faced with a very harsh reality. The book of Esther, I love Esther. I love her story. It's such a great story of hardship, of what to do in the face of annihilation, basically. So if you don't know, I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory about Esther. Okay, so Esther was a Jewish woman, and she lived in a time where, wasn't real popular to be a Jew, right? So King Xerxes had banished his wife for not doing what she was told, and he was on the hunt for a new wife. Well, all the young women were gathered up, and during this time, Esther's very wise cousin Mordecai told her, you're going to be gathered up with all these other women. It's probably the safest thing for you right now to hide the fact that you're a Jew. So Esther changed her name from Hadassah, which was her Jewish name, to the name of Esther. And she was rounded up and taken to the palace with all the other women. Esther found favor with the king. And so much so that he chose her to be his wife. And so we find this woman who is now a queen. And she is a wonderful queen. And Xerxes loves her. I mean, he loves her. And the bad guy, Haman, decides that he's going to plot to kill all the Jews. So there comes out this decree that all the Jews are going to be killed. We're going to kill all the Jews on this day, this time. That's it. So Esther had a choice to make. She had to choose, and I'm going to find the scripture because I want to read it to you. She had to decide what she was going to do in the face of this difficult time, right? This is sad because I'm so used to my digital Bible that I'm forgetting where everything is in my actual Bible. I mean, I know Esther's in the Old Testament, but it's going to take me a second. Genesis, Leviticus, Numbers, Joshua, Judges. Okay, Psalms, Proverbs. And it's a little bitty book in the Bible too. So anyway, so we have Esther who, come on, I know you're here. I know, here. Esther's right before Job. I'm finding it. There we go. Okay. So we have Esther, and she is seeking counsel from her very wise cousin Mordecai. All right. So I want to read to you Esther chapter 4 and verse 13. 13 and 14, okay? Because this is what Mordecai, this is the wise counsel that Mordecai, I've heard it said two different ways, is giving to Esther in this time of potential annihilation of the Jews. And I hope you guys can see the layover there. Like, we've got this virus that is potentially, I'm not saying it's going to kill everybody, but it's really causing some serious trouble, right? And this is what Haman was doing. He was causing some trouble. He was wanting to kill all the Jews, right? And a decree had went out from King Xerxes, from Esther's husband, that all the Jews would be killed, right? So Mordecai said, Then Mordecai commanded to Esther, Think not within thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews. Basically, he's saying, don't think that you're going to be the exception just because you're the queen. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, if you don't do anything, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. So, Esther, if you don't do anything, God is going to deliver us one way or another. And thou and thy father's house will be destroyed. And who knows, who knoweth? Please do not ring the doorbell. My kids are on the porch now. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther, who knows? Maybe God brought you to this place for this time. Guys, maybe God is using this time, this season in our world for us to do his divine work. Maybe Mordecai said, Thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this. Maybe this is our time. Maybe this is what God is bringing the Christians to show the world who really is the one true God, to show the world what Christians are really all about, to show the world the heart of Jesus Christ. Maybe we have been brought for such a time as this. And that, I don't know about you guys, but that speaks to me. That speaks to me. And I want you to hear what Esther said in verse 16. She said, Go gather all the Jews that are present in Shushan and fast for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise. And so I will go in unto the king, which is not according to the law. Esther had decided that she was going to go before the king without being bidden to come, which was against the law. He could potentially chop her head off, basically. He could kill her. He could banish her. He could do whatever he wanted to her for what she was about to do. And what did Esther say? And so will I go unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish. Yesterday we talked about a commitment that Ruth made to Naomi. She made a commitment to Naomi to be with her no matter what came. She made a commitment that not even death would separate her from Naomi. And we talked about us as Christians making that kind of commitment to God. And here we see the commitment and the potential sacrifice that Esther is making on behalf of her people and her God, right? Esther's saying, listen, I'm going to do the right thing. I am going to fight for what I know to be right and what I know to be true. And if I die in the process, then I die in the process. And I wonder if we would have that level of commitment. I wonder if as Christians we said in this time of uncertainty, can we not be in the mindset of self-preservation, but be in the mindset of what can we do for others? How can we show the love and the heart of Jesus Christ to this world in this time where everyone is hurting? Everyone is afraid. And this attitude, I think, of self-preservation comes from a place of fear. And what does the Bible say in 2 Timothy 1:7? God has not given us the spirit of fear, right? That was Elijah. He just wanted to yell. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And God has called us to have the power to love this world, even in these uncertain times, even when people are panicking, even when everybody's buying up all toilet paper for no apparent reason. Even in this time of we don't know when our kids are going back to school. We don't know if we're going to get to go on vacation. We don't know if we're going to have enough money to pay our bills next month or this month or tomorrow or today. God has not given us the spirit of fear. He has called us to love others. He has called us to have power. And I think fear comes from a place of faithlessness. Because if we truly have our faith in God, then that Spirit of God that lives in us is going to give us power and love and a sound mind. We will not live in fear of tomorrow. And what does the Bible say about faith? Faith without works is dead, right? That's James. Liam, you have to share, bud. Okay, you have to share it. Go in there and y'all share. Okay, thank you. James 2:26 says faith without works is dead. So when we work and put action to the Spirit of God that lives inside of us, we build our own faith, right? When we put action into helping the hurting, into being a servant to the world around us, in whatever way we can, we build our own faith, right? And faith will drown out fear. Faith will drown out this uncertainty. And you guys, I'm here to tell you, I have really been praying and really been fighting this fear of uncertainty. I am a planner. I like for things to be planned out. I like to know what I'm doing when I'm doing it. All those things. And I have really had to really pray and really seek the face of God in this time of so much uncertainty. Because if I allow that uncertainty to really take root, I will be so afraid I won't be able to do what God has called me to do, right? So I want to leave you with that. I want to leave you with knowing that this is a season. This season will pass. That we are called for such a time as this to bear the fruit of the Spirit and show the world what Christianity really, really means. And you guys, if you enjoy that devotion, I would love for you to share this video. Let your friends know that I'll be here every day at 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. Haven't decided what I'm going to do on the weekend yet. But I will be here, and share it with your friends. Feel free to comment. Give me your thoughts below. I would love to know what you guys think, or what you're going through, or if you want me to pray for you in a certain way or about a certain thing, you can pop it in the comments or send me a private message. I won't be, like sharing your, business on Facebook, I promise. But I think it's so important that we realize that we have been called as Christians, as people of faith, for such a time as this. And we can either show the world what we're really all about, or we can let them down. And it's our choice, right? It's our choice, how we act, how we react, if we are going to bear the fruits of the Spirit and show the world love and joy and peace and kindness and long-suffering and gentleness, meekness, temperance. Because I can assure you that in the coming weeks and the coming months, nobody's going to ban those things. We're not going to have to stop loving people. We're not going to have to stop being kind. Those are things that we don't have to worry about. And there's no law against it, and there's no such thing as too much kindness. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear what you're doing through this time. And I would love for you to share this video. I'll be back at 11 a.m. tomorrow. And on Thursday night, I am doing a Bible study on the Zoom app. So it's like a conference call, video conference call app. So all you need to do is download the Zoom app. It's totally free. I will pop the link in the comments here. You'll just click the link and it'll take you to the conference call at 8 p.m. on Thursday night, okay? So I hope you'll join me for that. And yeah, we're going to get through this together, guys. And I hope you're doing well, and we will continue in the faith. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.